Well, thank you indeed for staying with us here on KTN Business today. Of course, it is a pleasure. Now, before we went on the break, we indicated that we would be driving a conversation on this side of the break with Dr. Samson Machuka. He is the director, for monitoring and evaluation in the State Department for Planning. He is now here in studio. He is here to talk to us about, the various ways that have been created to enable you keep track of the various projects that are out there, including one which is very key and goes by, a moniker, an acronym, the National Integrated Monitoring and Evaluation System, on NIMS. Is it NIMS or NIMS, Daktari? Yeah, so karibu sana.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, in the first part of the show, we've talked about a lot of aspirations for Kenya, doing the roads to Southern Sudan, doing the roads from Lamu to Isiolo, running the pipeline that is expected to be built. So many different things out there, so many different things for people to keep track of. Sometimes this can go over your head. And what the ministry is now telling us is that there are actually tools that have been built to enable us to be able to keep track. Talk to us about this, one especially, this NIMS.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to mention that NIMS is an abbreviation for National Integrated Monitoring and Evaluation System.
Yes.
And this system started way back in 2003 when we had the economic recovery strategy for this country.
Yes.
And you may recall that before then, the economy used to perform very poorly. But then when the system started in 2003, the aspiration was to really see the economy moving to positive achievements. And the intention was mainly to implement the planning side of the whole equation, because at that particular time we concentrated a lot on planning, but very little was done on implementation, particularly monitoring and evaluation of what we were planning to do. So the monitoring and evaluation started to implement that program called NIMS, largely to implement the economic recovery strategy, which was a 5-year strategic plan for the economy.
Yes.
And if you may recall, you will realize that between 2003 and 2007, when the economic recovery strategy ended, the economy was able to register very tremendous economic growth from 0.02 to a high of 7%, which in a period of 5 years, which meant that ministries and implementing institutions took planning of their issues much more seriously, beyond planning.
How much of that can literally be attributed to the implementation aspect? Because we know that, as a lot of people will say, we have a lot of beautiful plans, but then very little in terms of implementation, really getting the rubber to meet the road. So how much of that would you say is not because of hubris or the positive environment that was there in the economy? The people who are feeling that if we pump in our money, we will grow. How much of this was real growth, real development?
Quite a lot was achieved. In fact, when we started that process of implementation, a lot of awarenesses were created, and people started really reporting on what they planned to achieve. And it came a time when the whole process was looking at target setting. Where you set a target that you intended to achieve in a specific period, and then every year an assessment as to whether you are making achievements were actually being done.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt you. On the back of what you've just said, we had the medium-term plans, the 5-year plans. And this usually would be the targets that we set, and then we break this down into annual work
plans. So actually, that's after the economic recovery, we started Vision 2030. If I can now start the medium-term plans with the Vision 2030. We have done so far second medium-term plan, so 5 years each, and they take cognizance of all strategic plans or sector plans of the entire government, where they plan to achieve specific areas of their own mandate. And then we consulted that and developed what we call monitoring indicators. We develop indicators, and these indicators are to run for the period of the plan. But then we actually break them down into annual implementable plans. So if you say you are building 1,000 kilometers of the road in 5 years, then we know that every year you are on average supposed to cover 200 kilometers.
Yes.
So we actually check what is it that has been done in 1 year against the big target.
So then for the public, and this is where the question of knowledge creation and people knowing exactly what is going on and transparency and that sort of thing comes in. If people then knew how to go about checking these indicators, knowing that this was the target set and at this time we should be able to have this sort of thing, then life would be much easier for everybody. Because if we knew that we budgeted, say, 1 billion shillings for the 1,000 kilometers, then we can break that down.
Yes.
Is it possible for people to do that today?
Yes, it is possible because we are really doing a lot of capacity building, not just at the ministry level, but even down all the way to where the projects are being implemented.
In the counties.
Yeah, we are doing it at the counties levels, and the counties are actually doing it even at the lower levels, so that people are part and parcel of that process. And whether you are doing it or not, it's easier to note.
Yes.
Because people are aware. People are aware that this is what was planned to be done, and so far this is what has been done.
Yes.
So in real terms, if you are really reporting on progress of what you have achieved, then that information comes to us and is also owned by the same people it is supposed to benefit.
And I hasten to say then that if these were implemented and the public did carry out its checking role, then we wouldn't have so many leakages or alleged leakages of funds all over the place at counties and even at national government level, because then we would immediately know that this money has been spent or not in the right way without having to wait for the Auditor General.
Yes. To a large degree, I can say the creating awareness and also capacitating the people to start doing this is not a one-time event.
It takes time.
It really takes time for people to embrace it. But I can say that probably what we have done and the effects of what we have done probably have improved somehow what is being done. The situation could even be worse.
Yes.
But the aspect of county development, I can say that because of the fact that it's a new phenomenon in this country, they are doing their second phase. I could say that this is really where we are really focusing on, because when things changed through the Constitution, we realized that people really needed to be capacity built. But at the national level, I think we have a lot of achievements, a lot of progress. And this is why there is a lot of responsiveness in terms of the achievements that we have made, simply because that program is working.
Yes. Let's talk about the platform itself and how people can access it so that we're able to take people through this and actually help build the capacity. I'm told that we can actually go to a demonstration if we could put that up. So what essentially you have is it a website?
Yeah. Actually, let me talk more about that demonstration. Maybe I give you 1 minute of how it works.
Yes, please.
The demonstration is built on a traffic dashboard, and it has 4 colors: the blue color, the green, yellow, and red. The blue color will actually demonstrate that you have actually achieved your target, not just on time, but also on cost. And you have actually met the requirements of quality. So that's the only time you can actually be able to get a blue card. And you can see from the demonstration that there are only 2. These are the pillars for Kenya Vision 2030.
Yes.
And you can see that there are only 2 pillars that demonstrate blue color, social and enablers.
Yes.
While the economic pillar and the political pillar are green, which is not bad. It's actually a good achievement, it's 100%. But the extent to which these colors are blue also restrict us to the people who have reported. You know, there are also those who have not reported.
Yes.
But those who have reported show that they are actually doing a good job. And I can probably request that, for example, we can go to the economic pillar. Maybe
we click on that.
Click on the economic pillar, which has so many sectors.
Yes.
And that pillar will show you the number of sectors.
Yes.
You know, in the economic pillar, we have manufacturing, we have financial services. And you can see a few rates. What we have done is that the averages of the rates have been left out, not because of any reason, simply because they have not reported on the achievements. So we have only taken the three that have reported on. You can see financial services, tourism, agricultural, livestock, and the fisheries. So when those 3 are combined, they give you an average of green, which means that the pillars are actually doing very well. But we are also encouraging those ones that are showing red to upload the achievements so that the system can pick.
Well, what about in situations where, for example, if you take the wholesale and retail, where we know throughout the economy, there has been real challenges.
Yes.
For example, the supermarkets we've seen gone down, the breakdown in trade in other places, while also appreciating that there are massive efforts being done both by private sector and government in things like Tujiajiri and the rest to start to build up capacity. How is this captured in this sort of situation?
This system is holistic.
Yes.
Actually, for example, you're looking at, let me pick maybe an aspect of manufacturing.
Yes.
You know, manufacturing is a very, very wide area.
It is huge.
And it captures everything that is really to do with manufacturing. But as you can see from the color,
yes,
manufacturing is red, not because it is actually performing poorly.
Badly, yes.
At the moment, it's performing at about 9%. And the intention is to push it to 15%.
That is growth.
Yeah, by the time we actually finish this period, the planned period.
Yes.
But the reason why it's red is because we have not captured information from them. But they look at all aspects.
So how then do you get them to start reporting properly?
So if manufacturing falls within the Ministry of Industry, for example,
yes,
then it is actually up to the Ministry of Industry to go down all the way to where the data on manufacturing exists and pick it up.
Yes.
And then bring it on board just as a global figure.
What if, for example, the growth that we see, for example, in manufacturing is in the special economic zones, which have, so to say, export-leaning rather than inward-looking, that sort of thing. Is that still captured, or is it captured homogeneously as growth?
No, it's captured. It's captured actually. In fact, the good thing about this system is that it will take you all the way to where you want it to reach you. If you want to go to all those finer details, it will be able to take you there, and then you can be able to correct the menace. But actually, what we are trying to look at is basically the global figures. But the system will take you down all the way, and you can actually realize which are the actors in a specific unit in that sector. But it's not
would we be able to use this to compare against the allocation votes, say, for example, in the previous budget, towards what has been achieved, assuming that they were to report in a certain period of time and against set parameters? Would you then be able to compare like for like and say this was used, this wasn't used, this had to be reported?
Exactly. Exactly. To give you that information. And the good thing about it, which I want to emphasize, is that this system is based on real time. It doesn't give you historical achievements. And what it means is that people should be able to give you information as and when it happens. So all we need is just for the people to have the capacity and the knowledge to be able to do it on real-time basis. So that when I'm saying manufacturing sector has improved, I'm not talking about what happened last year. I'm talking about what has happened as it is. And as you may realize, any achievements has a cost to it. And that cost is the budget. This is the question you're asking. That is it possible to know how much that you are able to be given against what you have achieved? So that's why we are saying that those colors will be determined on the basis.
So, for example, then I could very easily say that for the people, for the parts of government which have achieved the blue, then they would be very at a good place to ask for increased budgets because they have absorbed and utilized properly. But then the red ones could be facing a shrinkage because maybe they had to repatriate cash or face absorption challenges. And
actually the good thing about this system is that, you know, the people, we are coming up with a policy. We have a culture of slow reporting. Or even a reporting of what people are doing. And you know, if you don't report what you are doing, for us, it's as if it doesn't exist. So that culture of ensuring that people report of what they have achieved is important for them to be able to be eligible for support in terms of resources.
Is there an aspect of independent verification of the data that they input? Because who's to say that they did not cook this data? Is there a mechanism that ensures that what they put in then is accurate? And maybe can be verified either through the Auditor General's office or some other way?
That's a very good question. In fact, the time for reports that achievements were actually in place on paper are long gone. This system has actually come up strongly to ensure that those types of reportings are actually avoided in a way that they don't involve one party person reporting to us. They involve a whole, like if you have in the county, we have what we call county monitoring evaluation committees, who then are empowered to verify that the information you're reporting on is actually real. And also, they also report on other aspects, particularly the funding aspect of it. Yeah, so.
Finally, for me, the fact that at the global level, the global experts, for example, Martin, I think his name is Javinson, a guy who wrote a book called Poor Numbers about Africa, say that while we keep going out doing research, being able to create good platforms, we are very, very poor at following through, crunching the data that then comes out of things like this to be able to use it as a stepping stone towards the next level of development. Are we able to leverage on the data that is coming through in this, in terms of informing the changes in policy and driving the country in a better direction?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Actually, the aspect of ensuring that the data we have is real and this can be relied on is what we actually on top of to ensure that we don't use information that does not really exist to make our policy-making policies.
Yes. What would be your call to the people out there who, for example, might have access to this because they have the Huduma centers in their areas, are able to go to the internet and go to this platform, are able to reach this sort of technology because they have the ability? What do they do to utilize it in a way that will help them?
Yeah, actually, this system is still under development.
Yes.
But the way it is designed is such that when it is fully operational, and we expect it to be operational anytime soon, is that the beneficiaries, and this is the public, people are supposed to benefit from these programs, are meant really to access and give their comments on whether what the system is reporting on is actually real. And for counties, for example, we wanted to have a system where it is probably pinned outside the governor's office, and they will see the programs that have been programmed for achievements, and then they can actually be able to raise issues or query the whole process. And I think it will work out very well for them.
Okay. Yeah. Indeed, Sir Dr. Samson Machuka, thank you very much for talking to us.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but it has been an illuminating discussion, especially from the point of view that the public should be able soon to integrate with development in a way that enables them to take charge and be able to verify whether the things that they have been told are going on are happening.
Yes.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, indeed, that's where we want to bring that discussion to a close. But also for the show today, we'll of course be back at the same time tomorrow with more from the world of business. Coming up in just a few minutes, be at KTN with the news in Swahili. But from us here in studio, it is Kwaheri ya kuonana until tomorrow.